Hey everybody, I did something crazy, and in this video I'm going to talk through why I did it and whether or not I regret it. So I went from a 2017 Corvette Z06, which was pretty special. It was 7-speed, 650 horsepower, 650 pound-feet. It was almost a one-off color. It was blade silver, and with some mods that myself and the previous owner did, it was basically a one-off, literally award-winning. I got some of the trophies behind me in car shows. It was just an amazing car. I went from that car and I traded it in for a 2020 Tesla Model 3 Performance. So let me talk a little bit about the Corvette first, and then I'll compare it to the Tesla. I loved the Corvette. I saved for it for like 20 years. I literally had a bank account called Corvette that I started when I was in high school, and it really is truly an amazing car. I'll miss the sounds that it made, the looks that it got, the looks that it had, and the way that I felt when I was driving it. I mean, you just feel cool when you're driving a Corvette, especially one as special as the one that I had. It was reliable, and even though mine was the 1LZ, which is the lowest trim level, it was still really well appointed with leather seats and decent technology, etc. Things that I won't miss. I won't miss needing to baby it. Speed bumps and either high or low angles on driveways or parking lots. It was always stressful. I was always afraid I was going to scrape it, and in fact, I actually found some damage on it from the previous owner underneath the car, where he had entered his parking lot a little bit too fast and without being at enough of an angle. And in a normal car, it would be fine, but with the Corvette being as low as it was, it scraped, and that was something that I was always nervous about, and I felt like I was always babying it quite a lot. The Corvette clearly doesn't get good gas mileage. It gets okay gas mileage if you can keep your foot out of it, but like nobody keeps their foot out of it. It's such a significant exercise and restraint to not just floor it everywhere you go. It's just an amazingly fun car. It's fun to go fast. So typically you're not going to get great gas mileage. I know a lot of people who do go the electric route. They talk about how excited they are to save on gas. And even though the Corvette wasn't great on gas, I just didn't drive it enough for that really to be a factor. So for me personally, not a huge factor. But let's talk about why I decided to get rid of the Corvette. And there was three primary reasons. Number one, as I kind of already mentioned, I very rarely drove the car. If it's wintertime, the Corvette was put away in my garage, and so there goes 3 to 5 months out of the year with not driving it at all. Reason two, I've got 2 kids and a wife, and we like to do things together. So even if the weather was nice, it was more likely we'd be piling into the minivan instead of the Corvette, and again, the Corvette would just sit in the garage. And thirdly, it's the right time to get out of a C7 Corvette, if you're not going to keep it forever. The C8 Corvette is right around the corner. It's the new mid-engine variant of the Corvette, and I personally think that other than the really super special editions of previous Corvettes, or even the C7 if you have the ZR1, I really think all of the older Corvettes are going to have a fair amount of depreciation, so it was kind of a now or never type of deal. So, with a decision made that it was time to get rid of the Corvette, I wanted to have a fun car with room for the whole family. So why did I get the Tesla Model 3, and why did I get the Performance model? So let's talk about that. I'm really not a fanboy of Tesla and Musk and his whole deal. I do like Tesla, and I have been following Tesla since the early days of the original Roadster. I think they're really neat. And I always thought it was like fascinating to have what's basically a souped up golf cart for the road. I just think it's neat. I'd ridden in a few Teslas before, never any of the performance versions, but I've been in a number of Teslas. But as far as the performance versions go, I'd really only seen videos online, and that seemed pretty cool too. If money were no object, I probably would have gone with a Model S with the ludicrous mode, just because of the speed. But after now driving a Model X with the ludicrous mode, and I've driven a Model S without the ludicrous since getting my 3, I'm actually really happy I went with the 3 over the S. Even with, if money were no object. What I realized when I was looking at the S's is it actually feels a little bit aged compared to the 3. The 3 does feel like the fit and finish is a little bit better. It's a little bit just a little bit of a better quality car. It's not as big, it's not as fast as the S, and there might be some quote unquote luxury features that are in the S that are not in the 3. But I think part of the 3's charm is its simplicity. So, but anyway, back when I was ordering or thinking about ordering a Tesla, I was looking at the S's and I realized that even a used S that's pretty beat up, it's the same or like a really similar price as a brand new Model 3 Performance. I like the idea of having a full warranty. I like the idea of having the most up-to-date hardware. And it's really pretty clear that Tesla is focusing the vast majority of their engineering efforts on the 3 as well. Tesla and Musk have said that one of their missions is to maximize the happiness under the ownership curve. And most owners own a Model 3, so it makes sense that most of their effort is in fact on the 3. I also thought it'd be fun just to order a brand new car online, configure it exactly how I wanted. I have had one other new car, or my truck. I bought that brand new, but I bought it off the lot, so it wasn't exactly the way I would have wanted it. Here, I started from scratch. I clicked on the buttons I wanted to click on and got exactly the car that I wanted. So I got the, I think I call it Midnight Blue. It's a performance Model 3. I've got the full self-driving and just a blindingly white interior, which I know was a bold choice since I've got kids, but they know that you can't have food or drinks other than water in my car, so that shouldn't be a huge issue. I'll probably do another video at some point with a full review of the car. And frankly, even if I were to do that video right now and then a month or two goes by, there's a good chance that the car will be at least somewhat different by then due to the over-the-air or over Wi-Fi updates that are made to the car, which changes its performance or abilities or whatnot. So I'm just going to do like a mini review here and like we'll call it my initial thoughts. So let's start with what I don't like about the car compared to the Corvette. So first things first, the Model 3 looks like frumpy compared to the Corvette. The Corvette was sleek and beautiful and had great lines and curves, and it was just a really wonderful looking car. In comparison, the Model 3 is a little chunky, bubbly, the nose is too short, and it just looks kind of like a generic family sedan. Having the performance model does help a little bit because you get the spoiler, you get, in my opinion, better looking rims, and you get the red brake calipers, so you can tell something a little special is going on. But overall, it's a sedan, and it looks like a family sedan, and it's just kind of frumpy. There's really no other way to describe it when you're comparing it to the Corvette. The Tesla does not make the same cool sounds that the Corvette made. The vroom vroom sounds that you get out of the Corvette were and are amazing. I used to love going under tunnels and just opening it up. There's nothing like that. I will miss that. I will miss that there's no transmission. There's no manual transmission. There's no rowing through the gears, which is something I've been doing for 2 decades. Ever since my very first car, I've always been driving manuals as my fun car, and the Corvette was no exception. That's about it, though, as far as what I don't like compared to the Corvette. And that's really saying something because I love the Corvette, like I mentioned. Here's a list of a few of the things I like better about the Tesla compared to the Corvette. So I'm convinced that I can drive it exactly the same way I drove my Corvette and not get in like any trouble, or at least not any more trouble than I would have gotten into with a Corvette. It's amazingly fast, 0 to 60, 30 to 60, 60 to above 60 is still very impressive. On paper, the Corvette is faster, but in reality, I think on a normal street surface without a professional driver, the Tesla is every bit as fast, if not faster, than my Corvette Z06 in a straight line. Sure, on the track, the Corvette is faster due to the much higher top speed. The Corvette would go almost 200 miles an hour compared to the Tesla, which tops at like 160. It would get to that speed much, much quicker. When you're above 100, 110 miles an hour, the Corvette would just walk away from the Tesla. But for me, I don't track the car. In the 2 years of owning my Corvette, I maybe saw triple digits twice. Definitely once, maybe twice. I never had it on a track. And the times that I did jump on it, it makes a lot of racket. So the Tesla is silent, even when you're zipping around, versus that Corvette, which you could just hear from miles away. I loved the sound, and it was amazing, but it was a dead giveaway that you were maybe like being a little naughty. So in that regard, the Tesla is awesome. It's sneaky. The Tesla has room for 5 adults. As long as one of the adults is slightly smaller than your average adult. I did have 2 full-grown men in the back seats, both well over 6 feet and 200 pounds. And other than during one acceleration when one of them bumped their head on the glass, they fit pretty well. They got in and out of the car, no problem. It's got doors in the back. You don't have to climb through, push the front seat back or anything like that. So there's more than enough room for my normal occupants, which are my 7-year-old and 3-year-old children in their booster seats or their car seats. Compared to the Corvette, on a normal street, the Tesla still handles amazingly well. The Corvette was on rails. The Tesla feels like it's on rails too at those lower speeds, that 0 to 30, 30 to 60. If you're not flying, you can still take turns at a very fast rate of speed, and it still sticks. It has a really low center of gravity because of all the weight from the batteries. So like the on-ramps and off-ramps, you can jump on it, and it is a ton of fun. Compared to the Corvette, I like that I have the ability to just charge it up at home. Like I said, I didn't go to the gas station that often because I didn't drive the car that much, but it's still nice that I can just come home, plug it in, and always have a car that's ready to go. The technology. So I'm a car guy and I'm a tech guy. I've got a computer science background. I've worked at technology companies since I graduated. I've got a computer science and business degree, blah, 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 blah. I fly quadcopters and play video games, and I'm the nerd's nerd. But I'm also a car guy. I've had a good number of sports cars and fun cars, so I can appreciate the car both mechanically and also technically. The minimalistic physical design pairs so awesomely with the incredible technology in the background. So like the wheels never spin when you're accelerating. The engineers learn over time how to better harness the power of the battery. So they're either giving you more range off of the same batteries. They're making the car faster with the same batteries, the same motors. Some of these updates are free. It looks like some of them you might have to pay for. But either way, you can literally go to bed, and when you wake up, your car can be faster. It's like magic. And there's also, of course, like the entertainment stuff. So Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, Spotify. You can play video games like Cuphead or Stardew Valley, classic games like Asteroids, Millipede, whatever. There's like tons of stuff you can do. There's a racing game where you can use the steering wheel to turn your car in the video game, and you can do all these things while you're just sitting in the car. The car literally drives itself. You don't even need to be in the car. There's summon mode, so you can just press a button on your app and the car will move forward or move backward. It'll come find you in a parking lot with varying results. That's something I haven't done yet. We'll talk about that more in another video. But when you're on the highway, it'll track lanes and traffic and navigate for you, including changing into faster or slower lanes as needed. You still need to pay attention. I call it like supervising, and you need to be ready to take over at literally any second, but it still removes so much stress from driving. It's really hard to describe, and I like it way more than I thought I would. I talked a little bit about the app. The app is amazing. You can do so much through the app when you're connected to your car. It's just very, very cool. In addition to the technology, there's the utility of the car. So compared to the Corvette had a lot of space for what it was, but the Model 3 has the front trunk, called the frunk. It has the rear trunk, and there's a rear sub trunk, which a lot of people in reviews I've noticed don't really talk about, but you can just fit tons of stuff into this car. A recent free addition is a new mode called camp mode. So you can sleep in the car and set it up to be in camp mode. So it'll just keep on the necessary things. It'll keep the climate control on, the heated seats, whatever, without having everything else on. So it only uses up a little bit of battery. And it's not, it's not a 4-star hotel, but it's doable. It's probably more comfortable than sleeping on the ground. And you also don't have to worry about like a muffler getting clogged if it's snowy outside or something and getting carbon monoxide poisoning. You don't have to worry about any of that. So it's very safe to just sleep in the car if you want to or need to. This list goes kind of on and on. I'm only going to add one more in the interest of time, which is the cost. So the car is relatively inexpensive for what it can do, especially when you compare it to the Corvette. It is cheaper than the Corvette by a fair amount, even with the one that I bought. If you click every option on the Model 3 Performance, the MSRP ends up being around $77,000, and that's very expensive. And you can buy a lot of car for $77,000, but not a car that can perform like this. There's probably also some local incentives if you want to make the cost a little lower. I think most of the federal ones are gone now. We're now in 2020 at the time of this video being made. But there's still potentially some local incentives, and you can still get incentives on wall charger installs, solar installs, things of that nature. For me personally, my insurance also was significantly cheaper than the Corvette, like $2,000 a year cheaper. You can get free supercharging, which is the equivalent of getting free gas. If you can convince your friends or family or whoever to buy a Tesla and use your referral code, and I'll link mine here or put it in the description or somewhere. Anybody who uses that referral code gets 1,000 free miles. So I used my friend's referral code when I bought the Tesla. So he got 1,000 miles, I got 1,000 miles, everybody's happy. So if you're watching this and you decide that you want to go buy one and you don't have another friend with a Tesla, please use my referral code and you'll get me 1,000 free miles, which would be awesome. If you buy a Model X or a Model S, those folks get free supercharging for life, at least for now. But even those folks, if they use somebody's referral code, they get some form of a kickback, like $100 off of a Powerwall or something like that. So I'm going to wrap things up here. Do I regret trading in my fire-breathing monster for my silent assassin? It's probably pretty obvious if you've gotten to this point in the video that no, I don't regret it at all. I loved the Corvette. And I'll eventually have another proper sports car, two-seater, whatever, again, at some point. But the Tesla is just life-changing. And the fact that I can enjoy it with my whole family, it makes it even better. In the 2 seasons that I had with the 2 driving seasons with the Corvette, I put about 4,000 miles on it. In 1 week so far with the Tesla, I'm at 500. I'm going to try to make a few more videos. So, do the whole like and subscribe thing if you're interested in following along. Some of the topics I've got lined up are more launch reaction videos. I've done one so far. Super fun to make. I love watching those videos. It always catches people off guard just how fast this car is. So I'll definitely be making more of those videos. I'll do a video around my personal ordering and delivery experience. It was not super smooth, and that is not uncommon with Teslas. Totally worth it in the end, but it is, we'll call it an area for improvement for Tesla. And then I'll do a detailed review of the Model 3, including my personal experience with some post-delivery fit and finish issues. Nothing major. They were all resolved quickly, but there were some issues that I'll talk through, and then I'll probably also do like a review of the app. Maybe I'll make that a separate video. Maybe I'll do that video. I don't know. Some videos around general care and upkeep of a Model 3, and either a dedicated video or set of videos around some of the running costs for the Model 3, and my personal numbers, which I am hopeful will end up being significantly cheaper than the Corvette would have been. Maybe it will be, maybe it won't, but either way, I'll share some of those numbers. So hope you enjoyed the intro to why I have gotten rid of my Corvette and picked up the Model 3, and hopefully I'll catch you again later. Oh, and if you have any questions or anything you want me to address in a future video, just drop a comment. I'll either respond in a comment or in a future video. So thanks a lot. See you later. Bye.